There's so much information out there about how we can all live greener, more sustainable lifestyles. But let's be honest, it is harder than ever to dig through it all to figure out what's right for each of us because we're all very different. That's where we come in. With help, my friends, each week we're going to show you what's out there in the world of solar, biofuels, water heating, recycling, gray water. We're going to show you exactly how it works and how much it costs, so you can make the decision for yourself. But that's not all. You're coming with us as we travel to meet the innovators who are working to lower costs with advanced technologies or that are creating entirely new ways of tackling our biggest problems. And finally, you'll meet the pioneers, the companies and the governments who are leading the way with huge, large-scale implementations of these technologies. And me? I'm a guy who's always wanted to make a difference. And I've been doing that by helping my friends, my family, and my community figure this stuff out, become more efficient, lower their bills, all while barely noticing a difference in their lifestyles. So, basically, I make house calls. All right, another house call. So we're here at my friend Jula Bell's house. Now, Jula has all kinds of questions about solar energy and if it's right for her and her home. So let's meet Jula, see a little more about her, and see what the deal is. Hey, what's up, Jula?
Hey.
How you doing?
Hi. Hi,
Byron's here. What's up?
Good to see you.
You too.
I'm glad you came here.
Awesome.
Let me show you around.
All right.
This is where the dogs like to chill out.
Cool.
I've got a digging pit over here.
Nice.
And then there's a little romantic fireplace area for nighttime. And there's a pool and a fountain. And
Some super cute puppies.
yeah, it's just a mellow vibe.
Right on. So Byron and I are definitely going to stay and chill a little bit if that's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, we have to, though, do one more thing. I haven't
Okay.
shown you one thing.
What's that?
The roof. You
I'll
ready?
follow you.
Okay, this way.
Cool.
So you go over here. So this is my kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Well, you definitely have an amazing view, that's for sure, and actually some pretty good roof space. I see a few possible issues, but let's go break it down.
All right, let's
All right.
do it.
But come on.
As far as solar, I'm not really quite sure if I'm going to be able to do it, but I want to know what my options are and if it can work. So Matt's done some meter readings on my roof, and I thought for sure that there'd be enough sun, but he said some areas might have too much shade, so I'm really hoping this can happen. I thought we were just going to slap some panels on there, but I guess it's a little more complicated than that. I think that my clients are, even though it's going to be an expense for me and I'm a little nervous about that, I think my clients are really going to respond to like, wow, Jula's doing this. She's going solar. She's trying to make a difference. And I think that will be a positive thing.
All right.
Jula has a lot to think about.
Thanks.
We'll check back with her later in the show. In the meantime, let's learn more about solar.
Hey, Echo Head. Help us dig into some of the questions that Jula brought up about solar, because these are almost always the questions that everyone has. First, the most important factor that determines if your house is a good candidate for solar is its orientation, or the direction it faces. The United States sits in the northern hemisphere. The optimal direction for a roof that will have solar panels on it is due south. That means as the sun travels across the sky from east to west, a surface facing south will receive the most possible sun. Since sun is what lets solar panels create electricity, this is exactly what we want. A roof surface can face both east and west of due south, but as it moves those directions away from south, the resulting electricity production on an ideal slope will decrease by as much as 9%. Next, it does take a lot of solar panels to make enough electricity to cover the usage of the average property. That means that you need to have a lot of available roof space to fit all these panels. If you only have small roof surfaces or multiple slopes, it might be very hard to put enough panels on your roof to make enough electricity to completely eliminate your bill, which is our ultimate goal. Finally, our last critical factor is shading. Shading can occur from obstructions such as trees, buildings, or power lines. Solar panels are essentially big electrical circuits sunk into silicon, a semiconductor. As with a simple electrical circuit, if you block one part, the rest of the circuit goes dead. If even a fraction of a panel is shaded by an obstruction, that panel and others around it stop making electricity. So if you find that you have a lot of shading during the day, unfortunately your property is not a good candidate for solar. But Echohead, I gotta say, your house looks perfect. Let's give you an idea of exactly how much installing a solar system might cost. So let's look at an example customer in Los Angeles who is currently installing a system. The customer spends $1,400 a year in electricity and uses 10,000 kilowatt hours per year. A solar system to cover their entire usage will cost about $42,000. They have an ideal roof angle, orientation, and no shading whatsoever, so are great candidates for solar. The local utility is going to give them $24,000 for producing the amount of power that the system will generate. Awesome! The federal tax credit for installing a solar system is 30% of the cost of the system after the rebate is applied. When added to our calculation, our final cost is $12,600. In simple math, this means that it will take less than 10 years for this family to get their investment returned. Not bad, but this doesn't take into account that they will never have to worry about future electricity increases. And finally, for every dollar that the operating cost is reduced for a property, such as an electricity bill, it appreciates $20. That means for installing this system, the home appreciated by $28,000. Technically, the system paid for itself when installed. What an incredibly smart financial decision. We did a quick check, and you can expect to have your local utility pay for between 20 to over 50% of the system cost through cash rebates. Go to the Greenhouse website to find the rebate levels available in your location.